HBCU blockchain in Web3. What our community has dubbed us. I'm proud of that moniker for sure. We started back in 2022. The home team, Black running allied folks, learning and grow in emerging technology. That's been the mission ever since. That's been the mission ever since. So we've been diving in. Some of my favorites, the blockchain side, the blockchain side, specifically NFTs, digital collectibles, the art side, where art and music, crypto, and in blockchain lives. That's my favorite for sure. But also the fungible tokens, so just all the currency side, the trading side, centralized finance, and all that good stuff as well too. Starting with number one crypto coin, Bitcoin, number two Ethereum, number two Ethereum, all the way on down. 33 plus million coins exponentially every day. That's a good time. Also, with emerging technology, that we're dabbling heavily on the AI side. On the AI side, another crazy moment. Have another crazy moment. The agentic side, or the agents are able to follow multiple commands, build different things, learn and grow on their own, search out documentation, build apps, code, code. It's really a whole vibe. It's really learning and growing together as a community, and it's been a really good time. I'm just you know. Hey, back in the building. What's going on, family? How we doing? Yes. I think I had the echo. But welcome back, y'all. Another Ohnahji U stream, baby. Day 207. This is gonna be a special one. I'm super excited. We got another undivided attention. If you know about undivided attention over at Ohnahji and Ohnahji U, it's one of our second longest running segment where we sit down with extraordinary individuals in our network. And today's guest is right there for sure. I'm so excited for this conversation. But we are here for season 2, episode 14. We've got none other than UN speaker, super crazy talented illustrator, designer, educator, Jedi, justice, equity, diversity and inclusion warrior such as myself, an OG fam of the Ohnahji squad for sure. We've got Ritzy P in the building. What's going on, chat? Welcome. Yes. We are here. What's going on, fam? How you doing?
Love the sound effects.
A little soundboard action. Yes. How you feeling? How you doing today?
I'm well, man. Thank you so much for having me. I mean, we're streaming on so many different places. I learned a lot just in the first 5 minutes being backstage. I think I'm also simultaneously streaming on my YouTube page. So this is fantastic. Learned a lot in 5 minutes. Thank you for having me.
And that's live streaming, right? Thrown into the fire. No, welcome to Ritzy, to the Ohnahji fam, to the Ohnahji stream, as well as welcome to Word to Your Mama pod. Yes, I know all about that fam over there as well too, for sure. Ritzy, what's going on? I've been having some amazing conversations. It's day 207 in this live streaming journey for me. On day 200. Thank you so much. It's been a journey. It's been a time. Day 200, I had my mom sit down with me, and that was amazing. It was a perfect kickoff to Women's History Month, Women's Her Story Month. And I was like, yeah, I need to reach out to more extraordinary individuals. And you know who first came to mind? Ritzy. I was like, yes, Ritzy got to come through for sure. So Ritzy, how's the month been going? Tell me about, since it is March, let me know some of your inspirations, some of the women in your life, past or present, that really have made an impact on you.
Well, first and foremost, I just want to say that it's lovely that we're both still in this space. And that from jump, coming into emerging tech, Web3 at the time only, right? That's what we would always call it. I wanted to find people that I can build bridges with and be a part of their community. And you and your crew just were so welcoming and just a wealth of knowledge to someone like me who was like brand new in the space and always a champion for women, right? Yeah. And I remember, I don't know, what was it, like 2-3 years ago, you and Boss B, shout out Boss B, you guys did a Twitter space. I still call it Twitter, guys. Twitter space
for sure.
For Women's History Month, and you guys invited me because I am a holder of Ohnahji. I'm part of the community, but you guys invited me, and I was just like, yes. And it was me and just amazing crew of Black women, and I just felt like always so included. So I just wanted to thank you on that first, and thank you for having me here. you know, it is International Women History Day was like the other day. It's Women
Mhm.
History Month. Every day should be, you know,
Talk about
Women's
it.
Day, Women History, you know, because every single person for a time lived in a woman's body, right?
Facts.
So respect, respect, respect. So I want to give you know, respect to my ancestors that really thrived me. I actually have a picture. Let me show you right here.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
I actually have a picture that I keep in the studio just as a reminder. It's my abuelita and here's my mom. They both passed
Yes.
away 31 years ago, 29 years ago this year. And they keep me going. You know what I mean? Because I'm a daughter of immigrants.
Yeah.
So it's like motivation. Um, you know, they sacrifice so much to come to this country, and I'm here just to continue to thrive and also uplift other people as I know that they would want me to do. So those are like the two, you know, guiding lights that I have for like everything that I do. And then, you know, women that are here still with us. I mean, there's too many to mention, whether it's women that I know personally or it's women that
Right.
I can see how they move in this world, you know,
Yeah.
because I think being a founder, and especially this past year building and being with other women founders, we're all building stuff that we wish we had, that our community needs. So it's like
Yeah.
other I see the through line of this other mentality, like whether we're building or educating or whatever we're doing, it's always this community vibe, this, you know, matriarchal vibe. And so those women, whether I know them or I don't, inspire me daily, basically.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, absolutely, absolutely, and that's much needed. That's much needed in yeah, the landscape of the State of the Union, state of the world that we're in right now. That's super
Yeah,
important. So
yeah.
that's beautiful. I need to put some pictures up that I can grab nearby my icons. Oh, that's super cool. Um, and that's pretty much how we connected, Ritzy, is like doing that work, kind of building those tables, building those communities, and reaching out and networking and having that spider web effect of just safe spaces,
Right, right.
in emerging tech. And that's I love it. You're one of my favorite newest friends, you know what I'm saying? And I
Vice
think
versa.
we need more of that.
Vice
That's very
versa.
cool.
And I was just thinking about this today, you know, especially right now where we were backstage and I was asking about StreamYard and all these different things, but
Yeah,
we're still here. Like when I entered, you've been in the space forever. You know, we had a conversation for Emerging Tech Journeys last year. Thank you for that.
yeah.
And I heard your story in a different way that friends don't get that story, right? But
Mm,
and when I entered the space, I think it was like at the tail end of like the bull market, right? So everyone was hyped, everyone was in. And then we saw it dwindle, right? We've been in
we
a
did.
roller coaster. It was 2021, 2022. And why are we still here? And why do we even enter in the first place? I was thinking about that today because we're nerds. We nerd out. Like we're here
Facts.
learning new stuff all the time, right? Like
Yeah.
I learned stuff today. Now, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this. And but coming into this space this early and you even earlier, it's there's a community, component that helps folks, but also it's just like, oh, I, I'm learning something completely new. So I like
Mhm.
nerd out, right? You can like I have we used to have another podcast called The Nerd Out, and we have some episodes. One just came out, but because everybody nerds out about whatever their favorite thing is, right? At the time.
Facts.
If you're a cholo, you nerd out what's the latest lowriders, like what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So but for us to be here, it's always in emerging tech, it's always evolving, and I love that we just have that. We're also probably on the spectrum, let's be honest, like, I know I found out recently that I am, and so I was like, "Oh, that makes sense." But, like, we're just we deep dive, right? And this emerging tech changes so much, and I was thinking about when we first got in, coming from the music industry and the art industry, I went into those places, right? Like, Web3, who's doing this? Doing where are those places now? Like, where do we
Right.
go? I supported all my music friends. Where are those
Mm.
platforms now? Like, it's so crazy, but we don't give up and we're still here. So
Yeah.
I see Better Call Saul up in here. Like we're still here.
We're still here, still trekking. That's funny that you mentioned that. Shout out to my guy Z. We talk every day, all the time, um, and we talk specifically around some of these platforms that aren't here anymore. Some of them that are sunsetting left and right, and it's like one is like how, why are we just giving up that easily, or
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, it is a strong testament, and one of the key pieces that kind of goes along with blockchain technology when we're talking about emerging technology, blockchain, crypto, even the AI side now, is blockchain is so
Mhm.
important to me because we have this ledger, this digital running ledger that can't be tampered with, that timeline. And timelines were it was so important to me. It was like one of the first concepts I grasped, like, oh, okay, this is something we can stamp, peer-to-peer network that nobody can mess
Right.
with. That's a gem in itself. And I think, even being able to echo that IRL or in a digital sense by just the communities that we're building, the stories that we're telling, the network that we're cultivating goes along that timeline as well too. And then you finally see like, okay, we got the OGs in the building. Like for me to have people kind of consider me like an OG in the space, I'm like, that's crazy. I know people that have been here way longer than me. But it's a testament just to that slow growth, that guerrilla marketing, that guerrilla style, just slow organic growth. And it really,
Right.
I think, will has been paying off, has paid off, and will continue to pay off dividends in the future.
Yeah. I mean, you saw like so many people fall off in so many different ways. So you see who's really here for the right reasons. And
Right.
my instincts were right to roll with you in that community, and you're still here. And shout out to Ozzy, because that's when I entered the space. Immediately I connected with him, and we did Hola Metaverso, and that's how I met
Yeah.
you through that, like exploring and doing that. And then I got to meet you in person for the first time when shout out to Billy.
Yeah.
Trust no one. Billy, one of the best developers and DevRels out there right now. He's currently at Katana, and I think he's still with Developer DAO. But when we did that event with the wallet, right? You learn how to do wallets, but it wasn't just like put it on your phone. It was a hands-on experience, right?
Hmm.
And we were all there together, learning together, and that's where we came up with your nickname, Baby Dev, if
Right
memory
there.
serves.
Facts. Baby Dev. No, that's too funny. Shout out to Billy. And that's one of the kind of key components is like we're learning about this tech, we're learning about this emerging tech. We're all lifelong learners. Really, a diverse crowd that's able to embrace diversity and roll with the changes. And we're seeing in real
Mhm.
time, there's like one of the largest extinction bursts I've ever seen. It's like people just like freaking out because they're dying off because they're not able to change with the times, the changing landscape, diversity, innovation, tech. It's kind of interesting. But I think one of the coolest parts about that workshop was, that was the core of Billy's teaching was this is the tech, but this is why and how it works, and this is why
Right.
this is important for us to learn. And I think those spaces were the best ones, and those ones are the ones that are still rocking today
Still
because they
around.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that is seeing that, and also I'm a homeschooling mom, right? So I've seen if you how different people learn. Some are visual learners, right? And some
Yeah.
some are hands-on, some are both. But also it's interest led. Like that's what I've seen homeschooling all these years. And
Yeah.
being in that workshop, we literally you had your iPad, you had your computer, hands-on, and Billy made it super interactive. He was like, let's teach you what this is. Let's teach you how to be safe. But also, you get to win an amazing Hola Metaverso hoodie if you can hack me. Remember that? We you
Yes.
if you could
Yes.
hack them, then you got a thing. And then if you were able to he would like teach us the basics. And then if we were able to do something, then we got like these amazing NFTs that Ozzy put together. And then we even passed the day, we were like, I'm gonna get that extra NFT because I learned how to do this. So it was
Yeah.
this is how you learn. Like he wasn't just lecturing to us. We were like learning hands-on questions, and we got to break bread together. I mean, I feel like that hasn't changed. And I feel
Yeah.
if we can do more of that, like that, I think that people talk about onboarding and mass adoption. It's just like, well, let's
Mm,
meet the people where they're at first. Like where, you know, do they even have internet access, or
right.
what makes them, what inspires them to utilize emerging tech at all? Like
Yeah.
why should they, basically, you know? So yeah, that was fantastic. When was that? 3 years ago now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe 3 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm still brainstorming on how to replicate some of that because the way he, broke down like test nets and the way that I think people should learn how to hop in this space um, was amazing. But shout out to Billy. That's
Yeah.
what's up.
Shout out to Billy. And you're like, because you've been doing this for 200 and what, 7 days now? You're really good
Hmm.
at talking, but you're also, I see that you're also in the comments. So I'm new to this. I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, wait, and
Oh,
then she turned the camera off. Just kidding.
no,
Shout out to
I
you.
think it unplugged. What happened?
Did it unplug? That's all right.
It didn't
You're fine.
unplug, but it says it unplugged. Can you hear me though?
We can hear you. We still got audio for
Okay,
sure.
let me
But
see. How do I get this?
let me know when you're back. That's
I
all
might have
good.
to come back in? No.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, no,
Oh, no,
no.
you back. Oh, you had it for
No,
a
no.
second. But yeah, Ritzy,
No.
I mean, hey, this is live streaming. This is live streaming. Um, I think that was one of the coolest core elements too, is being able to have that live element, that live chat, and all that good stuff as well too. Ritzy, if you're talking, hit me in the private chat. I can't hear you if you're talking. No cam yet though. But we're all good. Shout out to Play Mode Games in the building. What's going on, family? Hello, Najee and Ritzy, for sure, for sure. It's good to see you again. Good to meet you last night, family. That's what's up. That is what's up. All right, Cam issue, no problem. You're all good. Yes. Hey, this has been an amazing. There we go. This has been an amazing conversation so far. We got our undivided attention, season 2, episode 14. Guest Ritzy.
Okay.
She's killing
All
it.
right.
It's been amazing. I love it. All right, here we go. Bang. We
Okay.
back.
My high def camera, I don't know what happened to it. I didn't do anything to it, but here we are. Here we
It's
are.
all good.
Live. It's live.
We rocking.
What's
Yep.
happening? Playmo Games? Playmo Games.
Playmo Games, actually, I got introduced to them last night from,
Oh,
Symbolic, Ivy produced, and from On Point Talk Show. So On Point Talk Show has been another community, the old Uma Diamond crew, but they're over in Twitch streaming as well too. And Playmo Games is tapped in with them. Shot them a nice little raid last night. So yeah,
oh,
just
nice.
communitying and connecting, networking, all that good stuff again. So it's good to see
Nice.
them back showing some love with the Ohnahji live. So yeah,
Amazing.
that's what it's
Yeah.
all about. That's what
Sweet.
it's all about. So Ritzy, like the state of tech now. I know, and we're gonna plug what you got coming up too, because you got something amazing coming up this weekend, right? Starting this weekend. So we'll get into that. But we met through the emerging tech and blockchain side,
Right.
crypto, NFTs, my favorite, all where the art lives on chain. That's my favorite. But AI, the other tech that we've both been diving in heavily, has been making a crazy run. So what's
Right.
your thoughts on AI right now? How's everything going? Get into what you're cooking up for this weekend, and because that's amazing as well. Go ahead.
Thanks. Yeah, AI, right? Like that's always been something that we use. And when I do, I'm a speaker. So if I do a presentation at a big conference or I'm doing it for middle schoolers, I always like to talk about emerging tech as a whole and
Yeah.
always included AI, right? And would give people examples like raise your hand if you're using this and this and this and be like, well, you're already using emerging tech. Like that's AI, guys. Like, but
Mm,
now with generative AI and I mean, less than a year, what's happened? Everyone was using ChatGPT. Now we have all these other ones that everyone's using. I personally switched to Claude full
okay.
time. And cuz the reason why is cuz last year my word was build, right? Like
Yeah.
I it was just like I need to build something. Like what do I need to build? Because in the beginning of last year, around I don't know, January, February, I was on this nationally syndicated radio show. And it was about our communities, marginalized communities in emerging tech. And they're like,
Yeah.
at the end, well, where should people go? And I was like,
Yeah.
ugh. I didn't have any one place for them to go. I mentioned you, I
Gotcha.
mentioned Crypto Conexión if you speak Spanish, but there was not one place to go. So I was just like, I want to build something that I wish was available when I entered the space. So
Right.
last year, Q4, I was part of the NASDAQ milestone circle cohort, and simultaneously
Hey.
was part of Theana, which is a platform for women tech founders, right? Because I
There
wanted to
you
be
go.
held accountable because I want to build this. And
Yeah.
everyone has a great idea, whether it's in whatever, but you need to have a good problem. So what that helped me do was validate the problem,
Yeah.
right? And I wanted to be building something on chain, but also that incorporated AI. So if I'm going to do that, as mentioned earlier, I'm going to nerd out. I'm going to go deep into AI. I want to see who are the players, who's behind all the companies, and
Mm-hmm.
how do they move in this world, right? So doing that, I was just like, okay, let's concentrate on that. Then I come from the, entertainment industry, specifically music. I did
Right.
artist relations for Coachella and a bunch of festivals. I worked at AEG before I left corporate in 2006, but I still worked with them afterwards. And I have family members that are writers, directors, producers in the entertainment industry. And AI was it was literally on the table when they had the strikes. Like it was a
Right.
negotiating thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing the research on AI and the companies and what's happening. And then I'm seeing on my side, when regards to AI, my folks, the entertainment folks are like, never, I'm never going to use AI. You see Guillermo del Toro saying like art cannot be produced by AI, da 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 da, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I have friends I use ChatGPT for everything. And I've been thinking, I was
Mm.
like, well, this is dangerous for all of us. If you're
Yeah.
just like, no, or you're just like, oh, ChatGPT is fact. So I had this idea mulling in my head. Then at the end of January, I went on this retreat, and my friend there was just showing us ChatGPT like it was fact. And I was like, do you cross check that? Do you
Mm.
And she was like, "No." And I was like, "Well, data training only goes this far for this." She's like,
Yeah.
"What?" I go, ask it right now." And it told her like, "We only go till, January or March of 2024." I go, "Cloud goes a little
Yeah.
further." I go, "But you have to." And so when I saw, and this was like super intelligent, amazing entrepreneur. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh, I feel called to do something about this," right?
Yeah.
And also because I'm in emerging tech and I'm a diversity emerging tech advocate, I've been connecting with folks on like what's happening for like indigenous folks, what are alternatives to the big, OpenAI, to Anthropic, to Google, what's
Mm-hmm.
alternative, what other people in the world doing, right? Because not everyone wants to depend on American-based large language models.
Talk
And
about
then
it.
also, what are people thinking about when it comes to small language models and data centers? And I connected with this um, tenured professor at USD who's indigenous and is looking at terrarium style data centers where it's regenerate, like who's thinking in these different ways, who
Mm-hmm.
left these big companies and now they're like all about AI safety and ethics. So all those
Right.
things I was looking at. So after I did that retreat, I was just like, oh, I need to do something. So I just launched. It starts in 2 weeks. It's called Real Talk AI. It's a 3-week virtual workshop where we cover what AI actually is in plain terms, right? So that you understand it in a way that makes sense in your brain. Week 2, we talk about ethics, copyright, environmental impacts, and what our people are doing in the world
Um,
alternatively, right? In other communities. And then week 3 is how to be how to use it practically and safely, but remember that you have to use critical thinking
Facts.
for everything, but especially when it comes to this, right? You're
Yeah.
not Googling something. This is something that's pattern recognition that tells you confidently that something's wrong, that
Oh yeah.
something's completely off. You know what I mean? So it's just like, so I'm doing this all also in community. So it's like 2 hours
Very cool.
each on Saturdays, 90 minutes instruction convo, and then 30 minutes where it's Q&A. Let's talk about this, right?
Yeah.
And then you walk away with a better understanding to be like, okay, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it this way. Or you know what? I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm going to take a beat and wait a little bit, do a little bit more research, but now I'm like a little bit more well informed. So that just launched. The scholarships just excuse me, the scholarships just ended yesterday because I want to make sure there's access to anyone, you know, if you
Yeah.
don't have the funds to join us, have that. But what I want to say is that there's definitely, if you still want to get in and you don't have the money and scholarships have already expired, because it's you, because it's this community, hit me up, DM me, email me, whatever, and we'll
Yeah.
figure out a way to get in. And also, I told you I made a coupon code specifically for your community.
Mm-hmm.
Ohnahji. Ohnahji. If you put Ohnahji, you get I think it's $100 discount for the 3 weeks. So
Sheesh.
that's what we're doing, you know, and we have a good groups that have already registered so far.
Yes.
A great a great organization based out of Atlanta. I met her, a Black female owned nonprofit where it helps other Black women learn skills. They have joined, and you know, I just really want it to be a conversation, but
Mm-hmm.
where we learn in community, because it's super important. Because as you know, baby Dev on Najee B, it impacts us so much, and it already has biases and stuff ingrained in it, because it basically is just a reflection of what we've been doing out on the internet. It's just a reflection of the world. So if
Mm-hmm.
we can get people inspired to know how it works, not only will they hopefully use it responsibly, but also build with it, right? Because now we're talking about, like, you know, agentic AI and all these different things. And you
Right.
know, I'm sure if there's time, we'll go into um what does that? I feel like I'm listening.
Go, keep going, keep going. You're good.
That's hilarious. When I was talking about being on the radio, because you know, I always say I come from the music industry, but I'm also, you know, Gen X. I always say music saved my life, but I'll say hip hop saved my life. When I was on that
Yeah.
nationally syndicated radio show, I was on Hot 97, guys. People were DMing
Hey.
me like, I heard you on the radio. And I was like, morning drive on Hot 97. So
That's
that's
fire.
crazy. Um, so going back, you know, so I feel like this is a great opportunity for us to just continue to have these conversations, but to just encourage our people to build, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and see like, oh, this isn't just like this out, you know, out of here for other people that don't look like us situation.
Mm.
If you have a phone, if you have a computer and internet, you can literally build something. Because I know I want to hear more about what you've been building. I heard that you're like, I see you tweeting. You're like, I just vibe coded the da, da, da. Like, so I want to hear
Yeah.
more about that as well. But I mean, if there was any time, it's now where we can, you know,
Facts.
where the technology linked up with us. Like, you don't have to
Yeah.
be hella tech savvy. You just have to have an idea and want to nerd out and learn, and the tools are there for us to really make some amazing things.
Talk about it. That's what I'm talking about. No, shout out to you, Ritzy. Yeah, she got the Ohnahji code. You know, $100 off for Ritzy's upcoming Real Talk AI 3-week workshop. Killing
Come
it. We had an
through.
amazing conversation. We had an amazing chat from Playmo Games, and you kind of touched on this, you know, and this is one of the things that we touch on, especially with Ohnahji University, of course. You know, what are the negative side effects of AI on the planet, you know, and that environmental side. You know, you touched a little bit on that, but I think that's one of the coolest pieces of, you know, emerging tech innovation as a whole. Is like you said, you know, you have sometimes, you know, maybe these some of the more progressive developers and stuff get let go from these companies and start their own thing, and you know, do things better. And we're seeing that quite a bit. You know, you mentioned tech coming outside of not just, you know, the FANG or the super centralized
Right.
monopolies in
Mhm.
the US, and we've got a lot of innovation coming out from the east, and you know, all over the planet. And I think it is very cool because a lot of people are cognizant of, you know, the water usage on cooling, and you know, the resources and these data centers popping up left and right. And you know,
Yeah.
really won't even touch Grok because of, some of the communities, some of the rural communities it's decimating. And
Right.
it's crazy, but I think there are a lot of innovation, from some of the smaller models. Apple kind of did some stuff, with the privacy side, but local models you can run on your own devices and things like that that don't have to ping a server 24/7 to work. And then that kind
Right.
of eliminates the data center issues a little bit. I know some of the other models I was just talking about on streams a couple weeks ago or a couple days ago. Alibaba's out in the east, they have some Quinn models that are local models, small models as well too, that perform exceptionally, which is
Mhm.
crazy. So yeah, there's a lot of strides being made. But yeah, Play More Games, I appreciate you bringing that up because that's one of the things that we talk about, and I know Ritzy talks about, and she's going to hit in her workshop as well too, for sure, coming up. So yeah.
Yeah. And, just like, more people are understanding what's happening, and I think it was in Huntington Park recently, that we're in Southern California. They successfully kind of pause the build of a data center in the neighborhood because if you look at what's
Mm,
happening, they're going to build them, and it's not just all black and brown. They're also doing that to rural white areas that or
right.
have already have them built, and so it's just like, oh, let's pause this, and because the community was informed, they were there to go have the meetings, be at the I forget what they're called right now, those meetings, the city council
There you
meetings and
go.
stuff like that. And they were just like, oh, you're gonna do this, then we're gonna remember that when it's time to vote. Like, you gotta hit them where
Mm.
it's at, so that like, hey, we are informed, so we're watching you, like, keep an ojo, like, we're keeping an eye on you. So,
Yeah.
like, they need to have, like, what I also tell my family and folks, because I don't know if you're the same way. I've been in this space since 2021. My family still doesn't know what Web3, emerging tech, like, they barely know any of it. But when we
Yeah.
have these conversations, it's like they barely understand, right? But we need to be informed so that we can make these decisions and hold people accountable. And then, like, going back to what you were saying, I think because of the biases, when one of the times, I think it was last year, we presented at the United Nations General Assembly Science Summit, and it
Yeah.
was to, for diversity and inclusion. And I know Danny from Razorfish, she was one of our keynote speakers, and she did a whole presentation showing, I believe it was with ChatGPT, show me a man presenting. It was a white man, center stage, big
Mm,
crowd. Show me a woman. And as she went to show me a woman presenting, and she went to show me a black woman presenting, you
mm,
just saw a reflection of what the world thinks because it was just scanning the internet, right? So I think it's crazy. So thinking of that, thinking of people, like what you said earlier, people aren't really trying to be in bold, like, held to the American companies. You see
yeah.
folks like Southeast Asia, Sea Lion, they're like, let's build our own because we have a bunch of languages so that they understand all the different, languages that we have just in this area. Also, cultural intricacies and stuff like that. I know there's one that all the countries in Latin America getting together, Latam
Yeah.
GPT.
Yeah.
I know UK, right? Didn't they, was that last year? They're like, we want data sovereignty. We're going to do our own thing over here as well. So I think, like, that will change the game as the big companies are like, let's get money, money, money. And I think if more people are informed, that's how we can change the narrative, right? Because you saw what happened with the Pentagon situation with Anthropic.
Right.
Mass migration from ChatGPT over to
Mhm.
Anthropic, so much so that I was on it and it went down. It was,
Yeah.
and Claude was down. And they're like,
Yeah.
sorry, it's because of the mic. And then it's so much so that they even put a way that you can just put your ChatGPT stuff so easily. It just,
Yeah.
like, one button prompt, put it over here, bring it over here. Like, so to see that type of stuff, people are like, I don't know what Anthropic is. Well, I don't know what OpenAI is. Well, that's
Mm,
ChatGPT. Like, let's make the connections, and then let's change the narrative and all these different things. If our communities, those that are usually, left out of the talk, are informed.
1000%. 1000%. And it is interesting. I think, one when ChatGPT like first came out, OpenAI, we got the guru I see through teaching us 3 years ago, 2 years ago about these things. Um, I was really interested in like the naming conventions, the nomenclature around like, okay,
Mm.
they could have done a better job. They kind of dropped the ball by not naming it something verbal is what I like to call it, like Google it or something like that. It's like people aren't going to be like, oh, ChatGPT it, even though we do, like we force that. It's kind of a tongue twister. I think it is kind of a testament to the culture of that community or of that product and team to not recognize those things. I think if there was a team behind it that recognized, there's a culture in naming. You need to name it something fun, something funky, something short, something catchy that can actually be the new Google term, but they didn't. And I think a lot of these things, a lot of what's happening on the back end, with Claude, Anthropic, and their stance, and kind of just everything that's happening politically with these LLMs, none of it really surprises me. You know what I'm saying? And I think it is kind of cool to see alternatives pop up, just because from an alternative standpoint, diversity in itself, diversity of
Right.
product. Um, it is cool to see people being like, I don't know what Anthropic is. I don't know what Claude is. I don't know these specific things. I know AI. I know maybe some people might know LLMs, but a lot of people do know like ChatGPT or Chat or something like that or AI bot. And I think it is pretty cool to have this kind of forced, migration or recognition on some other products that are trying to do things the right way, quote unquote, right way. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I did a post about it and I was like, "Ethical AI?" Like,
Yeah.
let's also remember that, uh, you know, PR, comms is a
Mm,
huge thing, right? Is a
facts.
huge thing, and I think, some people don't know that, and I haven't looked today, but as of like yesterday and the other day, Anthropic is back on the table negotiating with the Pentagon, but you don't see
Mm,
that. Why? Because they're like, oh, let's just put on comms everywhere that we're suing them for labeling us a supply chain risk, right?
mm,
So you're not gonna know. We're not gonna know unless you're in the know, like watching and looking and
yeah.
keeping an eye out. People are like, yeah, Anthropic. I don't know if you saw, like, as soon as he said no, and then Trump said, "Oh, then you're out of here." People were going in front of the Anthropic offices with chalk. Did you see that on the
Mhm.
sidewalk and saying like, "Oh, you ought to." Well, let's not be fooled by like I don't trust like Billy Jujitsu says, trust no one. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, guys. Like out of all of them, sure, that's great that you stood up and you did all this stuff, but, you know, the people, the brother and sisters that, homeboy from Anthropic, he left OpenAI to start Anthropic, and at the same time, while all this is happening, someone from Anthropic left. I forget his name, and he just tweeted and was like, "I'm gonna go in obscurity and I'm going to do poetry." Well, what? Why? What's happening? Like, that's suspicious. So it's just like, we got to keep our eyes and ears out on everything, and we got to disperse this information and keep people informed, because this isn't blockchain, like Web3, blockchain, DeFi. That's something. And yeah, it can change things, but it's like a slow burn. AI is moving. How fast is AI moving right now, guys?
Ah, insanely,
It's
exponentially.
crazy. Right. So, of course, things are going to happen. There's no regulation, or or laws are not going to be able to keep up with that, right? So, things are going to happen that later on they'll be like, when Terminator happens, they're bringing like, "Oh, we should have." Too late, guys. Too late.
Uh, yeah.
Do you know? So,
What?
that's why I feel it's so important for us to, safe spaces like this, that you have these conversations,
Yeah,
and we can just keep everyone informed and be like, "Hey,
yeah.
here it
At
is.
the
Do with it what you will." And yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's all just a tool, and that's what we talk about a lot in these past few weeks with Ohnahji for sure. Um, is that you mentioned earlier the balance? Like some people who are just way on the other spectrum, and they're like, no AI at all. I'm like, no. Okay, well, that's going to be a tricky. You'll be get through it, but that's going to be tricky. Then you have people on the other end where you're like, oh, whatever's coming out of this output on these LLMs, word is bond, and you're like, no, that's not it. We gotta introduce you to hallucinations by these
Right.
bots. So yeah, so just it's a tool. We gotta balance. Knowing what's going on, balance the diversity of product as well too. I see through. He's like, you know, I'm not chained to any of these different tools.
Right.
Matter of fact,
Right.
we're probably gonna get to the point where we're all building our own. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
yeah, but
Yes.
but it is pretty cool. I think I wanted to read this from Nacho. He said, "Can I give y'all a huge real life dub from AI in my personal life? My abuela doesn't speak English, and now I'm able to show her YouTube videos that were in English, auto dubbed into Hindi. This is such a game changer because she loves YouTube. This just opened up like billions of videos for her. It's like
Ah,
accessibility, diversity, right there.
accessibility.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to you, Nacho. That's what's
Oh,
up.
yeah, shout out. That's amazing. And that's beautiful, right? Like that's multi-generational. Like we're another I did a talk recently at the Rotary Club. Do you know what the Rotary Club is?
I've heard it. I wouldn't be able to know.
No. I got asked and the reason why I got asked was a friend of mine, she is a founder of Storytime AI, and
Mm,
her and her partner build their own small language model, and it
yeah,
translates stories in like 134 languages. And she goes to Africa because to rural villages because books reading is essential, right? Like
oh
comprehension
yeah,
and reading and all that stuff like that, but books are heavy, they're expensive, so she can go with a few, like, iPads and have these their own stories translated in all these different languages, right? So anyways,
sick.
she was like, "Let's catch up. Can you speak at the Rotary Club?" And I was like, "The Rotary Club? Is that the Freemasons? Like, what what is that?" Like, what because I was
Right.
like, "You see it," but I was, "Is that the Lions Club? Like, what is that?" I thought that was just old white men, and she was like, "Oh, it used to be, but here it's
Mm,
different, and the current president is a black wealth manager." And I was just like, "Oh, really?" So anyways, I went and I talked, and I think there was a guy there that had been president back in 19 for the Rotary Club back in 1970, like when I was born, like 50 something years ago. And hence to say it was an older crowd, right?
mm,
And it was just like, they're still here. We can't
yeah,
forget about them. And how do we bring them into emerging tech? So I love
mm,
Nacho Ninja Warrior 8, the fact that you're utilizing it to connect, accessibility to your abuelita, to your grandma, and also they can see that, right? Because can you imagine you're 80, 95, like just being Gen X. We went from analog to this, but for them to see like nothing, like super duper analog, like old school, like,
Rotary
phones,
phones.
like
Yeah,
like, I saw that too, but, like, for them to be maybe they had the old school, like, I don't know, but we can't forget about we can't forget about the communities, but we also can't forget about the different generations. Just because you're
mm,
older doesn't mean that you can't participate or benefit from
huge
this,
facts.
you
Huge
know?
facts. And there's a ton that we can learn from, those older gens. And I think there's a ton that we can learn from how they navigate with their wisdom and experience, how they navigate any of these tech tools as well too. So
Yeah.
just, having them kind of immerse in that and just having those connections across generations is super important,
Yeah,
and the same can be said for the younger generations as well too. There's a whole lot that we can
exactly.
learn from them, and they're tapped in with a lot of this stuff too. So
Yeah, for them to come out the womb like, like, I know how to do 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 things,
for better and for
and we're
worse, yeah,
yeah, we're in the middle, so it's just like we can learn from them, but we could also teach them like have some critical thinking. Don't just da 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 da, right? Also have some time off of the electronics, for mental health. And then for the older generation, the one thing that leads to early death or, decline in health is they're not using their brain in new ways, right?
yeah,
They're not talking, walking, they're not. And if they're like, oh, this is brand new, like let's get it to their level and they can learn a new skill. And then it
yeah,
gets those synapses going, like
yeah,
Ohnahji B, baby dad, what are we gonna do when we're that age? I hope that our old folks home has a DJ, has a tech room, like,
yeah.
you know?
It
I mean,
should.
that's
It
all I
probably
can
will.
expect.
The
Be like
flyest
this,
ones.
all up in the yeah.
You know what's funny, Ritzy, is like a lot of times though, not in like the emerging tech side, not like blockchain AI and stuff, but just like regular tech now, especially on the phone, some of these apps, sometimes I'm lost. Like a lot of like the whole swipe left, swipe, like the swipe culture, outside of just, Tinder and all that good stuff, of course, but that's
Right.
used in tons of apps. And I'm like, I don't even know which way's which. Like I'm lost.
And is it because we're lost or is it bad UX? Like, I don't know. Like sometimes I feel
think it,
like it
it's just
could be
changing.
it's just changing and it's not we're not keeping up with my old brain. But I've that's happened to me recently. I was like, what do you
Mhm.
mean? Where do you go? I'm gonna be one
Yeah.
of those people when I'm older. Oh,
I'm crying. Playmo Games, dinner time here in Italy. Let's definitely connect soon. That's love. Appreciate you coming through,
oh, and
tapping
Italy, no
into the
less.
yeah,
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
it's fire.
Thanks for
W
joining.
stream, W host, W guest. No, that's funny. Z, he said it's bad UX for you guys. Hey, I mean that's
For the
it's a
olds.
spectrum. It's opinion, of course, of course.
How old is he?
He's young. He's young. Z's
Damn.
young. Yeah,
Oh man. Feel so
yeah.
old. Feel so old. Oh,
We'll
so
be
it's
all
just
right.
bad UX for the old brains. Got
Yeah, he's
it.
clowning on us. You guys are
Oh, we're
unks and
on.
out here.
Wow. Oh, you know who's gonna love that? The SMB, my son. He's
Yeah.
13. He's gonna love that.
He's gonna be weak for sure.
He's gonna be super weak. Amazing.
That's awesome. No, Nacho said it's challenging explaining to the grandma when she's seeing AI videos versus real ones because there's a lot of slop out there. For an 81-year-old, she's sharper than most of her peers. Yeah, I can see that. I can imagine because
Yeah.
she's embracing you trying to help her with the tech, and that's already embracing the changing times and lifelong learner energy. And yeah, I already believe in that. But there's a ton of AI slop out there, Ritzy.
Yeah.
Like these videos
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy, but for us, and I'm sure though, like her, them, I don't know, in the chat, we can differentiate certain stuff, but for those that are not about, that are really not on any tech stuff and they see it, they can't differentiate. And they're just like,
Yeah.
that's real. I saw this and just like, ooh, and it's just getting better and better
Mhm.
and crazier, adding the pores and just like, oh, pretty soon we're not going to be able to tell, or
Yeah.
those that are younger than us in the chat, like no one's going to be able to tell. So I don't know. It's going to be definitely, yeah. I've been tricked sometimes too, and I'm just like, well, is it or isn't it? It's
Yeah.
tough. It is so tough to tell. Yeah.
Wild times, but it's a tool. I think hopefully eventually we have more of, and we've seen this in a lot of emerging tech, the people that kind of race out to test it, firsthand are always the ones that trying to do like the most viral stuff or just throw whatever they can. And it's not really a whole lot of thought process around utilizing
Right.
whatever tool tech this is. I think we'll kind of phase that out over time. That's happened with every tech space, really. I think we'll finally find some solid, good, use cases for, image gen, video gen. Yeah, I don't know. Eventually we might, yeah, getting into 3D gen is, yeah, it's a lot going on. There's a lot going
Yeah,
on.
it's a lot going on, and I just keep telling folks that, being Gen X, and I went to school I got my bachelor's degree in art and graphic design and marketing. And I remember the transition of doing stuff, cutting, literally, it's called cut and paste because you were cutting kids, you were cutting stuff, Xeroxing, doing this stuff. And then, Photoshop and Adobe, all their products came out. People are like, no, that is not
Yeah.
the craft. That is da 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 da. And then
Yeah.
that's the norm. And then when I graduated and I got into music industry, I was gonna be a photographer. I loved it because I learned how to do everything in college. So I'm out at all the concerts taking pictures, and then I got invited to be a part of a show with like Esteban Oriol and all these greats. And I was just like, that's
Yeah.
not my thing. Like I'm not as nerding out on the technical side. I just want to point and shoot. And then that was the evolution of digital cameras. Oh, I know so many famous photographers that at that time were like, I would never use a digital camera.
Right.
Never.
Right.
What do they
Right.
use now? Digital cameras. Do you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
there's always this resistance, and then like you said, things taper off. And this is a little bit different because it impacts so many different things. It's not just the art
Right.
world, it's so many different, like every part of your life this can impact, right? So it'll be
Facts.
interesting, but yeah. But yes, it's a tool. Like for those that are creative, Guillermo could talk all he wants, and I love him and his the artistry that goes into his movies and costumes and all these different things. Love it,
Yeah.
but he's gonna use it somehow, some way. You're using it already, with whether you want to or not, when you Google something.
Exactly.
So
Which is also pretty crazy. But yeah, no. Nacho's saying he's laughing. I keep telling Gen Z this. People always resist change, but it's inevitable. And yeah,
the
that's what's
only
up.
thing constant is change. That's it. That is
Dang.
it. And
That is
and
a
and the
bar.
AI train is here. It's left. It's not here. It's left. So it's just like, I don't know. Evolve
And
or
you
become extinct.
and that's the bit never more truer than today, which is
Right.
crazy. You talked about it impacting different industries and stuff like that. I think even like the whole even like traditional development and just software building and is like they're freaking out right now, left and
Yeah.
right. We're seeing
Right.
layoffs, unfortunately, like crazy. But I mean, even people like me, like a non-technical person, I can dabble a little here and there, but
Baby
for the
Dev.
most
That's why
part,
you
I'm
have the
not.
name Baby Dev.
Yes, baby dev, but baby dev might be growing up with these AI tools. I'm not joking, but it's crazy. I think it's like I was using it, for a lot of like looking up things and tweaking different data, learning pairing connections. Like I know a lot about such and such. Can you teach me about this topic in terms that relate to that? And I think that was a really cool piece. Now I'm like, build me this app that I need. And I'm like, okay, you know,
It is crazy. I had shout out to Supermodel Gamer. She's in the space. She's an OG in the space, and
hey,
she was like, "Have you used Claude Code yet?" This was maybe a couple weeks ago, a month ago
yeah.
maybe. And I was like, "No, I've been wanting to." Da da da. She goes, "Okay." She's like, Let's do a meeting." She's like, "I'm gonna show you."
Yeah.
And for like an hour, she showed me. We built an app. And she showed me that with Codex, and she's like, "You have a GitHub?" I go, "I have a GitHub, but I haven't built anything yet." And so she showed me, and just showing me live as we're talking was mind blowing to me, right? Because I've heard about it, I've seen it on videos, da, 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 but to see it that way, like the fact that she took that, she's like, "I want to show you because I know you're going to build some crazy things. Like, I think you're going to go
Yeah.
crazy on this. I think this is going to be fantastic for you." For her to be like, see that in me, for her to take the time out of her busy day and to show me, I was just like, yes, these are the people that I want around. Like people like you, people like her, and all the amazing folks that I surround myself with. Is just like, yeah, share the information, like show me in real time if possible, because
Yeah.
I believe, I had no doubt. I was just waiting for you, Ohnahji B, Brian. But I was just like, when is he gonna? I feel like if he's doing something, he's doing something, behind the scenes on the BTS or
Yeah.
something. But then I saw your tweets, and you're just like, if this works, it's gonna change the game. Da, 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 da,
Yeah. I,
you know?
I'm kind of shocking myself again. I'm at that time that, maybe like what the 4-year time span where I'm like, oh, I'm onto something crazy. And yeah, like you were saying though, I think a lot of creators that we have, that get in touch with this new emerging tech, whether it is blockchain, whether it is AI, both of it together, you were saying like everybody has ideas left and right,
Mhm.
but you really need to have a solid problem to solve or a solid problem to tackle. And I think you know, unfortunately, traditionally marginalized communities, Black and brown folks, the allied folks, we have problems that we can solve, and I think we're going to create
Yeah,
some really cool stuff utilizing these tools that otherwise would have been, the tech would have been gate kept from us, the information would have been gate kept from us. And I think, we're
preach.
at a crazy time where we can level up pretty heavily. And yeah,
We
all
can
that, yeah,
level up. Yeah, and this is what I say whenever I speak, is that when you're not about diversity and inclusion, you're leaving mad talent off the table. right? Because you're getting the same types of thinkers. If you're getting people that come from all different parts of the world that have different opinions and different experiences than you, they're trying to solve problems for where they're at. So
Yeah.
local problems, solutions to local things could have global implications. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the spark in the fire that you have in your eye, talking like right now you're talking about, oh, it's changed the game. It's been like 4 years. Like
Yeah.
to nerd out, that feeling of being in the zone, being an artist as well, I, that's the same feeling of being in the zone, that creativity zone. Like, oh, what can I do here? And what can I do this? And I would love to not have to be a mom, a wife, or anything because I just want to do this, but that's
Yeah.
not reality.
Right.
But going back to, emerging tech as a whole, when I go to conferences, I look at the schedule, like, and I do a beeline to who's talking about social impact, who's talking about community building, blah, blah, blah. And so to think about stuff that a lot of people don't know is I went to UNICEF's panel at
Mm,
Consensus
there we
when it
go.
was in Austin. And did you know that they have a crypto fund?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was not well attended. Like, it was me and a few people, but they had the
Yeah.
whole stage, and they have a crypto fund because UNICEF, they're the biggest distributors of children's vaccines globally. They get it to
Hmm.
the places that need it, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, we're going to have a crypto fund. We're going to invest 100 to 400K equivalent in crypto to companies, non-dilutive funds, to companies that are going to help us without problems. So on stage, they had a founder, and I talked to everybody on stage when they got off. I talked to them. And one of the guys, his thing was using the blockchain for supply
Yeah.
chain. Of course.
Right.
So it could be like, boom, these vaccines went to this country and they're about to expire here and da 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 da, right? And
Yeah.
then why do they use crypto? Because guys, especially coming from, the global south or whatever, if we're sending money across institutions, across state lines, across country, lines, it could take with the regular banking system, what, 5 to 7 to 10 business days for the money to
Right.
get there. With crypto, it goes, I see, it goes like hella quick. And
Instant.
it's transparent. We could see who gets it. If the right person gets it, there's no like, oh, well, did it get it? Da, 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 da. And so stuff
Hmm.
like that always inspires me. And I always talk about that because there's someone right now that maybe barely has internet that is going to use cloud code, use whatever's out there, base for whatever their thing of choice is. They're going to create something that is going to help them to change the generational wealth, but also it's going to be something that globally it's like solves a crazy problem. But
Yeah.
it has to get to those people because we got geniuses in every community. We got people with
Hmm.
crazy high IQs that just happen to live somewhere where it doesn't have an internet or barely has electricity, So it's just like, how do we get it to them? So anyways.
Yeah. Those places with those geniuses, but just a little short on resources. And I think as
Yeah.
the innovation continues to grow, like they're going to solve some huge problems
Right.
and change the lives of themselves, their communities for the better, over generations. It's going to be fun to watch. So
Hopefully one of those people from those communities figures out how we don't repeat history from the movies, and it's Terminator time, and
mm.
it's Doom time, like where they're like have to have human computers because they had to do a rise up against the machines. Like, we wrote this, guys. People wrote about this. We've seen movies about this. Like, who's gonna do that?
Yeah, I think, yeah. The cool thing about sci-fi is we have a little blueprint of maybe what's not to do, hopefully.
I know.
We'll
Like,
see.
come on.
Uh, shout out to Hey Miss V coming through with the gifted pack. It's good to see you. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Got a new fam. Yeah. So yeah.
yeah.
For sure. Got newcomer Miho in the building as well too. So wow, I just came in, someone gifted me a sub. Yeah, welcome to the U. We're
Oh,
chilling with
nice.
Ritzy P. Undivided Attention. Yeah, season 2, episode 14
I
guests.
know.
She's cooking, she's killing it. We're already hour in. We didn't even get to the lightning round yet. We halfway. You ready?
Ready?
All right, let's do it. We're gonna hit a little lightning round. You know, the Onaji U staple, undivided attention lightning round. Then we'll get some more into the conversation for sure, for sure, for
Okay.
sure. All right, Ritzy. So a little lightning round action.
Ready.
Um, just whatever the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay,
Okay.
let's get it. You ready?
I'm ready.
Ritzy, dogs or cats?
Dogs. I'm allergic to cats.
There you go. There you go. Red, yellow, or blue?
Blue. Blue all day.
Oh,
That's
there you
like
go.
my new I found out pandemic. I used to wear black all the time. And then when the pandemic came, I was like, I'm gonna change it up because I'm not going anywhere. And I was like, oh, I think blue's my color.
There you
So
go.
blue
Oh,
all
that's
day.
fire.
Am I supposed to answer this? Or am I just supposed to go burr, burr, burr?
No, that's
Oh,
fine.
okay.
That's fine. That's fine. You're good.
Okay.
You're good.
I don't gotta give
You
backstory. We don't have to give
you
backstory.
can. You can. That's fine. No, no, no. That's awesome. Yeah, the blue aligns heavily with your pod and all that good stuff in your brand. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm still in black all day long. It's the Steve Jobs type of vibe, but it's okay. For like literally, I've been wearing black probably almost every day for like the past like 20 years. Heyman's V clowns on me all the time, but it's all good. It's all good.
It's tough. I still wear black here and there, but I was like you all the time. Thought
Yeah,
I'd change it up. Yeah.
there you go. All right, all right. Favorite food
Ooh. Eh,
or a couple?
it's either tacos or sushi. Like it's
Oh, there you
Japanese or
go.
Mexican. I love so many different types, but if I think about like my last meal or stranded on a desert island, I think it's one of those, you know?
What's the sushi roll? The fave.
I don't do sushi roll. I do
Okay.
yellowtail and
Mhm.
salmon.
There you
So
go.
those 2, but it has to be quality, so I do those 2. And then, like, what's coming up, Coachella's coming up, and I used to work artist relations for that, so I have friends and family that are still part of that, organization, so I get to go, and every year in the VIP section, there's, I can't think of their name right now, hand rolls, and so I do hand rolls there, and I do it's like, nori sushi. They do
Okay.
like hand rolls. They do it right there live. And so I go there and that's where I eat all weekend because it's in LA. So I don't get to go out there all the time. So those are the only like hand rolls that I do. And it's like a salmon one, a tuna one, a da 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 because you have to do it in like little spurts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kazunori. Oh, Kazunori. That's the name. Kazunori. If you're
There
in
we go.
LA, Kazunori, it's just a hand roll. They do it live right there. No fluff. And you go. So yeah.
That's lit. For the tacos, we talking asada? What we talking? Pollo? What we talking?
Two al pastor,
Mhm.
two asada. That's it. That's
There
it.
we
Every
go.
time with
Yes.
all the fixings, for sure.
I love it. I love it. Favorite music artist
Híjole.
or a
No.
couple?
Eesh. If we're
Not even a
going like
couple.
even going like old school, that's like my heart, for so many different reasons. I don't know if you could see this. This is Stevie Wonder. I made it Stevie Wonder
Hey, there
pen.
we go. Fire.
Because he's a living legend, he's still alive, and his music is so important to so many people that you guys probably love and have no idea that he's influenced them, and his
Mhm.
story is amazing. So Stevie Wonder, um, but I love so many from so many different genres. But if we want to keep it simple, and so many parts of my life that I've listened to these songs to get me hyped when I'm in like crazy nervous type of situations, like when I was at graffiti battle and all these different things. Ghostface Killer,
There you go.
Supreme Clientele, top to bottom, nonstop, no skips.
Hey, absolutely. And Ritzy knows ball. That's what's up. That's what's up. All right. All right. Okay, well, okay, so okay, along those lines then, favorite genre?
Favorite genre of
Music.
music?
Mhm, mhm.
Ooh,
Oh.
black.
Hey, talk about it.
That covers everything. Black.
I'm weak. There you go. Same. That's a good answer. That's too funny. All right, this is an easy one. East Coast or
Okay.
West Coast?
That's not easy.
What? Oh,
That's
okay.
not easy. I'm born and raised on the West Coast, but the East Coast given us so much.
That's true.
Hip
Facts.
hop, you know,
Facts.
uh, the stuff that's come out of the Harlem Renaissance. Like,
Yes.
I mean, that's tough. I'm gonna say equally.
Okay. All
A
right. That'll
mix?
work. Both.
Both.
That's too funny. That's too funny. Um, that's awesome. Now, shout out to chat. We got Steve in the building. It's good to see you, family. Y'all making me laugh. Shout out to the homies in stream. Um,
Yay! Thanks for being here.
all right. So the techie one, AI or
Mhm.
blockchain?
Blockchain.
Yeah. What?
Blockchain.
Expound on that a little bit.
I just think blockchain is going to change. I think it's going to impact AI in a certain way. I think we're going to
Yeah.
see how people are going to utilize that, and maybe that helps it. Not, I don't know. I don't like the word regulate, but I like blockchain can do so many different things, and I
Yeah.
think that's why we're in the space. And AI can do a lot of harm in the wrong hands, and then maybe we'll see what's happening. AI plus blockchain. What's possible with that. But if I had to
Yeah.
pick one, I'm gonna go with blockchain.
Okay. Cool. All right. And the Ohnahji U staple, the discussion that has the campus up in arms for 4 years now.
Oh,
Ritzy, if you're eating grits, or if you're eating grits, are we sweet or savory? Are we sugaring them, or are we butter, cheese, something like that? How are we eating the grits, Ritzy?
so I am not from that culture, but I was raised in that culture here and there. From the West Coast, from San Diego, I was introduced as sweet.
Oh, no, just kidding, just kidding. Okay. We'll allow it. We'll allow it.
But I like
All
them
right.
both, but I was introduced sweet.
There we go. Okay. All right. We'll allow it.
Have
No,
you ever had
Ritzy.
anyone that's like never had grits before?
Oh yeah. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm
We
sure,
had we
right?
had a couple guests that are like, no, I don't eat grits at all. Neither. And so it's like, I don't know. I never had it at all. So yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Well, Ritzy,
Sweet.
you survived the lightning round. Dubs.
Yeah.
Dubs in the chat for Ritzy. Going crazy. I love it. I love
Yay.
it.
Bum, 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 bum.
Oh, not the hey. Oh, that's a first for that right there. Okay. All right, Ritzy. They really gonna call us unks and aunties out here.
I know. So the kids, when they hear that sound,
Yeah.
the youngsters, the young whippersnappers, that's old. That's an old sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Why you
They
gotta
might
ruin it,
they
kids?
probably know. They know. They
They
know.
know
They're
but it's
used to
classic. Everything comes around. You
absolutely.
pretty soon the kids are gonna be like doing that again. It's fine.
Oh
It's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
I'm not worried
for
about it.
sure. Oh man. Ritzy, I love it. So what do you got going on? What are you building after, this AI workshop you got coming up? What's coming up in the future?
So I've applied to some fellowships. I really want to be able to just hunker down and concentrate to build Zocalo. That's the platform to make emerging tech community driven, practical, and accessible. Basically building what I wish was available when I enter the space. But it's not just like, oh, here, this is it, and it's me teaching everything. It's me like inviting you in and then connecting you to amazing communities like Ohnahji U. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. It's just like a safe space. It's like, oh, I want to learn this. Da, 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 da. Well, this is someone that's already making this amazing content. This is already someone that has these discussions, or this is someone that has already done this like amazing videos of to teach you such and such and such, and that you relate to them because maybe you come from their community. Like, oh, you're indigenous, go over here and DigiDao, blah 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 blah. Like I want Zocalo is like a town square in Mexico. But when you're in a town square, there's no hierarchy, right? There's no hierarchy.
Yeah.
We're all there, share resource. Doesn't matter where you come from. We're all there to learn and to share resources. So
Mhm.
that's my what I envision and what I'm building. So right now, like I did the problem validation interviews, which were very eye-opening because I was thinking like, oh, I'm making this for marginalized communities, but really
Yeah.
from those interviews, I realized it's for people that feel left out of emerging tech.
Right.
And one of the craziest revelations that came out from those interviews, because it had to be, I did the Y Combinator startup school for free, those ones on free for free, and I did all these other things. But being part of Theana, the platform for women tech founders, really helped me like just hone in and like what you said, let's see if the problem sticks, if the problem is decent. So when I
Right.
did all those interviews, is like, oh, do these interviews with people you don't know, some people you know, some people you don't know. And the one that stuck out the most was PhD software engineer, woman
Mm.
of color. I asked her all these questions because, mostly everyone's using ChatGPT or some type of AI. But I was like, why not blockchain? Why not crypto? Why not? And she said, I feel like it's not meant for me.
Oh, okay.
From Harvard, PhD
Crazy.
software engineer. This is someone that's tech as hell. You know what I
Right.
mean? And if they don't feel that because mass media is, you just see it's a scam or it's tech bros, it's is, these white dudes or these big companies, when they see that, if someone like that feels left out,
Yeah.
like what is happening?
Imagine.
So, you know what I mean? So then I was just like, oh, it's for everyone feeling left out of this tech, which is so crazy to me that if you're an engineer, if you're a developer in like regular tech, how come you're not over here? Like it should be even
Hmm.
a shorter walk for you, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it's not. And so, yeah, I've been lately just been trying to get into all these different communities. Like I spoke to Jolise, who's the amazing executive director of Techeria, and like different places of color and of women that are in tech. It's just like, oh, also, what about over here? So
Yeah.
doing that. And then always, still consulting emerging tech strategists, doing that. So anyone needs that, hit me up. We could do some retainer situation, speaking gigs. I have, speaker page, and I'm part of 2 different speaking agencies to do workshops or speak or however, do so many different things. And then this weekend, if you're in town and if you nerd out, I'm gonna be at TFCon, Transformer Con.
Hey, let's
That's right,
go. Let's go.
at Burbank. So I'll be there all weekend. If you're there, come through, hit me up, and let's meet at IRL. But yeah, it might be Peter Cullen. If you nerd out, that's the OG voice of Optimus Prime. A couple years ago, he was there, and we got him to do the photo with SMB, my son, and he's there
Sick.
again, and he's like 83, 84. So we paid for him to do the photo again. He's gonna meet his homies that he's met online. So I'll
Inspired.
be there. I'll be there nerding out on
Heck yeah.
Transformers.
That's awesome. That's awesome. No, Nacho had a good call out. So in the PhD defense, a lot of crypto is a scam. Yeah, and I think that too. I was thinking about that when you were talking. Traditional
Yeah.
people in tech kind of, it's a short walk into emerging, but a lot of times, a lot of emerging tech has a bad some bad PR. Like we got some PR things
Yes.
to fix, but there's a lot of,
Right.
unfortunately, it being that tool again, that bounce that spectrum, a lot of people in this space or a lot of the attention, a lot of the viral news has been around the people trying to scam and scheme and steal as much money and amass as much money as they can from other folks. Autobots assemble. I
Yeah.
love it.
So I'm gonna show you my other one. These
Sick.
are from the homies that made these exclusively for Hasbro. So as you can see, Optimus has a paint wheel. That's from Sket One. This is like my fam. That
That's
the reason
fire.
why I got into emerging tech is because he was coming out with the NFT and he had no idea what it was. So that's why I did the deep
Okay.
dive. He still has no idea what Web3 is. But I wrote about
That's
him in the book,
fire.
and I was just like, he was my entryway. And this is from Kano Kid from Queens, New York. And he did
Sick.
Bumblebee, and that was through Hasbro a couple years ago. But yeah,
That's
nerding out.
fire. No, Ritzy's well connected, man. I love it. I love it. Chat, if you guys have any questions for Ritzy in the comment, please definitely toss them in. It's amazing to see all y'all. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us,
Thank you.
man.
Thank you for
Um,
coming
Ritzy
through and the
cooks.
questions. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Binance
no, yeah,
CEO that
for sure. Yeah, and that's what gets, it's all the clickbait and stuff, but even as a PhD software engineer, not even crypto, like, think going into building stuff, blockchain and stuff, I feel like she wasn't even knowing. She didn't even it was such like you said, such bad press, but I think something you
yeah,
said earlier, Baby Dev, is the words, the marketing, what things are named.
right.
We're using the internet. I don't know how it works. We're just on it and we're just using it. And no one cares that it's a layer 2, a layer 1, a ERC, whatever. No one cares.
Yeah,
What
just me.
during those interviews, they just want to know, how does it help me? And I was like,
Right.
why were you so quick to do ChatGPT, any of those chatbots? And all of them was like, oh, I immediately saw how it could help me in my business, in my career, and it was so easy.
Yeah,
Onboarding was easy. It's just like you just text, like chat, like you're talking to someone else. So it's just like, what can we do? And I think that's why you're seeing, like, on Twitter and on LinkedIn, all these places, like, people are looking for storytellers. Like, how can we,
absolutely.
the entryway, like, having you on, the things you do here is just like conversations with people that happen to be in the space. Get
Right.
inspired that way, just like, oh, I'm here to talk about blah blah blah. But oh, they talked about blockchain, web 3, spatial web, and what that is, because that's where we're going, folks. But let's be a part of the conversation. And as you can see, you don't have to be techie to build stuff now. It's met the
You do
moment. We're
not.
here at a great moment.
It's actually advantageous now to not really be techie because you're going to think about problems. You're going to think about things differently in a creative way that's never been seen. And we're going to
Correct,
see some
correct.
cool innovation, some cool software built by just, I had a conversation with Gemini because I use Gemini quite a bit. And yesterday I've been doing a lot of prompting on stream and I was having a conversation. I had one of my super devs, he's tapped in like Billy level. In like the traditional dev side, and he's been in the streams. He's one of my day ones from the hometown and stuff. And we were talking about like prompt coding in this new vibe coding era. And I was telling the bots, like, I don't write the code at all. So I don't really understand what the code's doing, what it is, but it's seeming to be working. Like the outputs of these things, it's doing what I needed to do. And it's like that's normal. We're gonna see more of that. It's like you're kind of in this
Yeah.
product management role. And the AI is acting as like these junior developers. And that kind of like that sentence was like a light bulb moment for me, like, oh snap. I get it. Like
Yeah.
that's it.
And
It's crazy.
and when I was talking about super model gamer, and when she was showing me where she put codecs down. So she was doing the codecs with the cloud code. And so
Yeah.
it did a whole app that we were doing. And then codex checked that code and, like,
Right.
in real time. And I was just like, oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause I was like, do I have to, when I first entered the space, I was like, oh, do I have to learn all these coding and I was like, I can't. Even back in the days. Like, remember, well, you're younger than me as well, but when my first website came out, when I left the music industry, I built it all by myself,
There you go.
and then I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember MySpace. What MySpace was great because everybody was learning, like, basic HTML, because if I wanted
Yeah.
to put a music player on my page, or I wanted to go more than like top 8, you had to know, like, basic HTML. And I was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, what does it look like when more of us can do stuff like that? And now we're at this place now, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to just build, like, someone just built something, I think it was on Firecaster, it was just like Labubu. Like, if you want to, like, that's using your brain in another way.
Right.
Like, it might be for
Right.
fun. Like, bring joy. Build something to bring joy. We need it right now because the world is burning. But,
Facts.
you know, bring joy, solve problems, something that's super niche that you think no one else will use. Oh, there's people out there
Mhm.
that need you, that need whatever you're building. So I'm
Facts.
excited to see what people. I was building MySpace page for my friends for $20. Nice. Hell
Yeah.
yeah. Because people didn't want to learn, right? But I was just like nerding out. I was like, yeah, how can I add all these extra things and da 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 da.
Right.
Yeah.
What a time. Good times. Yeah, I think what we're gonna see now is like the MySpace era times 1,000.
Ooh,
No
yes.
lie. So
Yes.
I've been like some of the things. I'll send you some links after we,
Yes,
you're wrapping up.
please.
I've been showing them with the stream, but I've been building like these little home pages, these time capsules and stuff on International Women's Day on Sunday. I built real quick on stream this slideshow of women's recent contributions to STEM, and it like built this whole little slideshow, and I was like, okay, this is crazy. This is
That's
crazy.
amazing. And that's
So,
awesome that you
and
did it live on stream so people could see you
yeah,
too and be like, "Oh, he
right,
could do it on live. Yeah, I can do it." So that's
yeah,
fantastic. I love what you do, Baby Dev, Ohnahji B. You know, you're one of the OGs, one of the great ones. Thank you so much for, bringing folks together and providing so much
absolutely.
value to the community, man. I really appreciate it.
Likewise to you. Likewise to you. That's why we're here today. Had our last conversation. It was on a Friday the 13th. In the summer on your pod. Now we back around, and yeah, it's the tech is moving.
Yeah.
But I have a question for Ritzy. Who are some celebrity women who inspire you currently? That's a good one, for sure. For sure.
Celebrity women that inspire me. Celebrity women that inspire me. You'd think I would have like ready to roll. I I think it's tough because I'm so critical. So like you think of and I'll preface this by saying I'm so critical, but also because of the time it is now. And there
Mm,
are some women that I'm not going to name any names, but some women that I would probably be like, oh, such and such, such and such. But now, since the couple administrations and where we're at with war and genocide and stuff and where people stand, some things have come to light and I'm just like, well, I can't roll with that
mm,
anymore.
yeah.
Um, so I can't, and it sucks too, because especially when we have this discussion all the time, women from the, Latina community, we don't really have any that are up to par, and it's unfortunate because I'm privy to some things behind the scenes, and we won't come if we come and say anything, then we look a certain way. So
Yeah.
it's hard to navigate, but yeah, celebrity
I hear you.
women, nah. Regular folks out there, any women that are still alive that contributed to this world, that don't get the shine, them, the unsung heroes, like those are really the ones that really inspire me. The women
Yeah.
that show up every day with no shine, no PR, and that are really making a huge contribution to the world. The women that show up as teachers, but not only as teachers, they're kind of like a mother figure, a guardian figure, and take care of their students and come
Yeah.
out the pocket for supplies and clothes and food and personal hygiene things. Like you see some of them like on Reels or TikTok, like those women. Um, so there's so many of those that I can name for
Yeah.
days, but celebrities, nah.
Yeah, the sometimes the sung and unsung, community staples in these local communities for sure.
Yeah.
You said fair enough. Good answer.
Fair
For
enough.
sure, for sure. With that, Ritzy, I think as a bar, we got a lot of younger folks that do come in. They were watching the VODs and everything. Since we are in this live streaming era and everything like that. I love always asking the guests, do you have any advice or any piece of advice that you can leave, some of the younger gens out there, moving forward, trying to go through their journeys, whether that be like school or, just
Yeah.
learning themselves or what have you.
Yes. So I really truly believe that we are different age souls when we enter this timeline. Okay. So some of you are new souls out there and you have so much to learn. Some of you are old souls. No matter what age your soul is, you're here in this timeline to do something. And I think the main thing is to learn about yourself and how to improve. Sometimes you're going to come into this world and you're not going to find your people because you know too much already. You see a lot of things behind the curtains, the matrix, the numbers are coming down. Like you see behind the curtain and you just can't find your people because you see that it's like BS or they're not being true and this and that. Let me tell you, you will find your people as long as you stay true to yourself and always hold on to critical thinking. If it feels in your gut, trust your gut. Even if everyone around you says, no, that person's cool, this person's amazing, and your gut's like, no, trust that. And also don't be the smartest person in the room. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, right? You want to be with people that champion you, that support you, but also challenge you because they care about you. Iron sharpens iron. Do that. Keep those people around. I'm around Ohnahji B. Ohnahji B is always evolving. And also never forgetting about community. I want to be around people like that. I want to be around people that are aligned. I want to be around people that have been in this space since like Clev Messador of Butterscotch Media. We do another podcast that's about to actually, I forgot to mention that's about to launch season 2. It's called The Get Down Beyond Bitcoin. We talk about policymakers and all these different things and how it impacts Black, Brown, and Indigenous folks. She's been in the space since, I don't know, longer than you, Ohnahji B. She's, she's immigrant, she's Haitian, and she's in DC, boots on the ground. She's been in the space, but still talks about community. So those are the people that I align myself with. And always, doesn't matter what people say, it's about their actions. Believe their actions. People can say so many different things, but if they aren't about it, you can't trust it. And that's it, and always try to balance joy in anything that you do. We only get one shot. We don't know how much time we have, but as a young person coming up, you can pivot so many times. I pivoted into emerging tech at age 47. I've been in so many different industries. It's never too late. I'm just trying to realign and evolve as well. So it's never too late. Also, at 25, you could have a quarter century crisis. I had it. My godson had it. My niece is about to have it. And that's okay too. So everything on your own time. Like they say when you're in you're in like, you're sprinting or doing what are those? The relay race or whatever, or your Formula 1. Don't worry about what's happening in the other lanes. Don't look back. Stay in your lane and just do you. You are at the right place at the right time. Your time.
Boom. My goodness. Okay, Ritzy, you done came through and cooked. I love it. I love it. No, shout out to y'all. Shout out to the chat. Put some doves in the chat, man. Let's get this on the screen. Put some doves in the chat, family. How we doing? How y'all feeling about that conversation? I love it. I love it. Shout out to you, Ritzy. Thank you so much for coming through and allowing us to give you our undivided attention. I hope you had an amazing time. We'll have to do
I
this.
had
We'll
the
have to
best
run it back
time.
soon. You had the best
I
time?
had the best
Good.
time, just especially with you and especially with all the folks in the chat. And feel free to DM me. Let's connect. Let's build. If if you're here, especially if you're here supporting Ohnahji B, I know you must be good people. I'm here as a resource. However, I can provide value and support you. Let me know. And yeah.
Where's the best place we can find you?
You can find me at all different places at Ritzy P. And yeah, it depends where's your favorite place, but I'm everywhere now, especially that's how I'm communicating with Ohnahji B. Zora, Farcaster, Twitter, IG. I left TikTok, but I'm also heavy on LinkedIn. And yeah, all those different places, but Ritzy P all around.
Let's go. All right, y'all. We out of here. W Stream family. You guys are amazing. It's day
Yay!
207. Couldn't have gone any better. I already knew.
Good times.
Shout out to Ritzy P in the building. Yes, definitely connect with her. I'll get you guys some handles and stuff. I'll get a list of handles for her tomorrow. And we'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. PST. You guys are amazing. Tap in with Ritzy. She's got her podcast going crazy as well, too. Word to Your Mama, which is amazing. Find her over on YouTube. And yes, if you are able, spread the word on her Real Talk AI workshop this weekend, starting this weekend. It's a 3-week virtual
next
AI
weekend.
workshop. Oh, next weekend. I'm sorry. Next weekend.
Yeah,
Oh, we got a good time. So let's get the word out.
We have some time.
On that as well.
Get the word out. Let's have some people from the community join us and partake in the conversation. That would be amazing.
Let's go. All right, y'all. We out of here. Amazing episode. We'll catch you tomorrow. All right. Peace.
Bye.